This is the first for me. I haven't talked on this budget this year, but I rise today to talk about overturning Veto. Never done that. I rise today not only as a state senator, but as a citizen of my community, citizen of my state, son, father, and a grandfather. And somebody that understands and has had it brought home to me, especially in the last 24 hours, what our budget really does and what it's about. I had a medical emergency at my mom's house yesterday. Most people don't know. I had to dial 911. That's always a traumatic experience, especially when you have an 89-year-old mother. Seeing her loaded into that ambulance, taken to a hospital, kind of focused what's going on here. While I was at that hospital most of the day, I had an opportunity to talk to all the nurses, all the doctors, and most all the patients, which are my constituents. I like my good priest likes to take advantage of when I'm in the hospital to go room to room and talk to my constituents. And it relieves me of some of the pressure that I'm working on. Hear their talks. I got to talk to my EMT, my first responders, who of course would be doing their job with or without a budget. Who would be doing their job whether we shut the state government down or not. But their spouses might not be getting a paycheck if we do the wrong thing. Their families would certainly be taking the brunt of our actions, good or bad. And I had to remember, what does our state budget really, really do, Mr. President? It really funds our government and the services that only government provides. We're not trying to take money, say to Maine, in our budget, and pay for public safety in any other state. It pays for public safety in my state. It affects the people that I represent, and it affects the people that you represent. This budget isn't the budget I would have written. This isn't the budget that most of us might not have written, but every single person in this room had an impact on this budget. I know when I talk to the members of Appropriations during their hard nights at work, they do a tremendous job. Everybody's thank them for that today. They took my concerns of what was coming through my committee very seriously. We all had an impact on what this budget looked like. It might not be the one that we all wanted, but it's the one that we all had input on. I'm a father, a grandfather, and a son. And this budget is going to impact everybody I love the most, my family. This budget is going to impact all your families. And that's what we're here to do. To overturn government veto, and he's got his reasons for doing what he does. I didn't run to be governor, didn't get elected to be governor, and I'm going to do what the senator does. I'm going to try and overturn the veto. I think that is the best budget that we can get in the state of Maine right now. It's the one that's going to work. It's the one that we've worked on, and we've all had a hand in working on. And I want to ask members of this body to remember what the budget does. If not 100% of the money comes back to the voters, the constituents, the taxpayers in the state of Maine, most all of it does. It comes back to our communities. It's going to help fund our revenue sharing, which is going to help fund our towns. It's going to help fund our schools, which is going to help educate our kids. It's going to all be coming back to our communities. It's not like we're sending it to Mars. It's like it's going to be spent here in the state. It's a state budget. And Mr. President, that's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to create a budget. It's our responsibility to pass a budget. It's our responsibility to make sure that the state government runs. It's the chief executive's responsibility to oversee that, but it's our responsibility as the legislature. We control the purse strings, and we're going to have to fund a balanced budget. And that's what this committee came up with, is a balanced budget that balances the needs of all our citizens, not just one. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope that we can all sit today and do what's the right thing for our constituents, the people that sent us here, to give them a budget, not to give them an alternative which is not going to benefit anybody. And I didn't serve here in 91, but by golly, I stood by that door and watched from the staff's perspective of when this place